Hello once again. I hope you guys watched the Chaos video first, because that is where this guy was featured in his packaging. But now he's in his own video where we're just going to talk about the Big the Cat action figure all on his own. And I guess I owe an apology to Big the Cat, because in the past I was very, shall we say, vocal about my dislike of the character, when I feel that that was somewhat undeserved, as the things that I really would have disliked about the character don't so much come from the character himself as the gameplay mode we were stuck in. Let's paint a picture. Back when Sonic Adventure came out, Sonic Adventure was this really fast-paced action platformer with a whole bunch of different modes of play. Like, you could be Sonic and you can run through the stages and smash a bunch of robots. You could be Tails and you can chase down Sonic. You could be Knuckles, where you're hunting for Master Emerald shards in enemy-filled areas. You could be Amy Rose, where you're running away from a like a slasher movie villain trying to get through a stage without getting caught by this big nasty robot that you can't defeat otherwise. And you could even be E102 Gamma for the first time, being one of Eggman's robots, playing through stages where you blast through things, and like what's one of the first Sonic the Hedgehog shooters that ever existed. I mean, all those were thrilling and action-packed in their own way. And then you had Big the Cat, who was a fishing game. And not only was it a fishing game, but it had some of the most out-of-place, loud, and obnoxious music while you're doing it. Like, when you're walking through the stages, the music is kind of mellow and atmospheric, if not just the regular stage music that you would have liked. But then when you land a fish, this really loud and obnoxious music starts playing. And it's like a 30-second song that plays on a loop, and it is super annoying. Like, I practically had to mute the TV every time I landed a fish because I couldn't stand that music. And, you know, I don't like fishing games either, so that really, really colored my perception of Big the Cat as a character himself. However, Big the Cat would be, like just one of the regular crew when he would join Team Rose and Sonic Heroes, and, he was perfectly fine there. And nowadays, when we got Big the Cat, he's had a bit of a resurgence. He's in both the Sonic Prime cartoon, and he has his cameo appearance in Sonic Frontiers. In Sonic Prime, he actually does a pretty good job of this being one of the cast members. He does a pretty good job in the dystopia world as a member of Captain Dread's crew. Everything's fine there. And he even, in Sonic... Okay, he kind of has the exact opposite role in Sonic Frontiers that he did in Sonic Adventure. In Sonic Adventure, his gameplay mode was something that you probably didn't want to do, but you had to do it in order to get through the game, and it took more time to do. It was something that you had to do so that you could get to the final storyline where you could play as Super Sonic and all that stuff. But in Sonic Frontiers, his little fishing minigame is the exact opposite of that. It does not take a long time to do, and it can be used to skip a lot of the game's grind. By playing his fishing simulation, you can get keys and memory tokens so that you can unlock the necessary cutscenes with your friend characters and get all the Chaos Emeralds without actually having to play through the stages. Of course, I didn't use it for that purpose, but theoretically, if you wanted to do a speed run of Sonic Frontiers, this is how you would do a speed run. It's actually pretty hilarious how he's the exact opposite of what he was back in the day. But hey, I've been talking for about 4.5 minutes, so let's go ahead and actually start to talk about the figure now that I have made my peace with Big as a character. Big the Cat has a head swivel. It goes about this far before his hair starts to clip into his shoulders. But, that's fine. That's a pretty decent range of neck. not like he has to be super flexible, given he's a big fat guy. He has elbows. They look really natural when they're floating at his side. When they stick out a little bit, they have a bit of a weird shape, but that's still okay. On par with what we would do with classic Eggman. They can rotate around, getting around his chest floof just fine. He has an elbow that gets almost a 90-degree bend, and it is a bicep swivel, so you can like have him put his hands at his hips or have him put his arm outward if you want. And he has a wrist swivel, very nice. I love his gloves. And nothing at the waist. Although I do love how his belt is sculpted with actual punched holes. Like even here, you can see my skin through them. Those are actual holes punched in the belt. Somewhat flexible, so it feels like a real belt. And he has hips. They go up and down. They can rotate in and out. And he has ankles. His legs are too short to have knees. And his feet are big enough that you can actually, like, you know, see, he's doing the thing. So he is a big boy. He is a big, big boy. He is huge. How huge is he? Well, let's bring in a comparison. Ah, yes. Hey, Andrew Strappers, if you still watch my channel after all these years, I still have that Big the Cat you tried to customize into a Hulk when we had that cute idea to do the Sonic characters as Avengers back in the day. So this is the closest thing I have to a Jazzwares Big the Cat figure right now. And, oh yeah, one thing, the tail. His tail is curled up on his back, and it can rotate around like this. I mean, I feel like they molded it this way so it would fit in the packaging, because it doesn't look all that natural back there. The Jazzwares Big, I will give him the tail, because the way it's attached, it can actually, you know, look more natural, the way that they attached it. So here, like, yeah, like, the direction that it swivels is weird. Like, it's always curled up around his back. He's, like, constantly hugging himself with his tail as it moves. Here, it actually comes out behind him like a cattail does. Oh, also, headcanon, Big is actually just a huge fat tiger. That would explain why he's 6 feet tall. Tigers are naturally the largest cats. And he has stripes, like a tiger does. That is my headcanon. Tell me what you think in the comments. So, yeah, like, he is a full head taller than the original Jazzwares figure, which was 4 inches tall, as you may recall. So yeah, we got a 5-inch tall Big the Cat figure. If there's any disappointment, I would say it's probably his accessories. They're just 2 little rings. But you know what? I get it. Like, this figure is huge. By sheer volume and plastic mass alone, they probably just couldn't budget in a more significant accessory like his fishing pole or Froggy, you know? So yeah, it's up to me to make Froggy, I guess. Probably print out a 3D model or something like that. But yeah, can his hands hold these rings? I feel like they're not really even sculpted to hold the rings because they're like huge. There you go. He can hold them like this. So I feel like if you have a fishing pole accessory, like maybe one from the old Resaurus or Toy Island Big figure, I forget which one had the fishing pole, or I don't know, maybe you have a fishing pole from another toy. What toy would come packed with a fishing pole? Did they ever make a fishing Barbie? I don't know. Like I know. What about that little game where you have like the little fishing pole where you pick up the little fishies that have magnets in their mouths? Like, that's a board game you can buy, right? Maybe one of those fishing poles would fit. I don't know. I digress. So yeah, there's a couple of accessories he could have come with, but I understand why he didn't because the figure is just so massive. So yeah, like, I have softened on Big the Cat as a character over the years, especially recently since he's been doing pretty good in both his appearances in the cartoon and his cameo in the recent video game. And this is a pretty good action figure representation of him. For a comparison to his wave mate, here he is standing next to Chaos Zero. As you can see, he is taller than Chaos, even if you measure to the tip of Chaos's head. So that is a positive reflection. Big the cat. I like it. And considering that I used to have such a vehement hatred of this character, that's really coming far for me. So this is Wake Angel 2001, signing off.